Hey everybody, welcome to day 419 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of full-time reseller supporting her family. It is Friday, August 1st, 2025. Yeah, and I showed up. It's pretty much all I can say today. We're going to talk about that in a second. Yesterday, we did meet our sales goal, so we ended July on an okay note for summer. Okay for summer, not for the rest of the year. And welcome to August. Yeah, so I am all reset to zero here. I did not finish up the evening shipping that I am going to do tomorrow. And yeah, showing up. All right. So, in an effort to keep this totally real, I was like, all right, today's the day I'm not going to do reseller reflections. Like, I have nothing to say. I don't know. I felt like I had nothing to say. And then, went out to the tennis court, hit some balls around, got my head on straight. And I thought, you know what? I showed up all day today. I showed up for everything, even though I didn't feel like it, even though my attitude is not great. It's kind of bad. I kind of have a bad attitude today, guys. Sorry, but it's real. It's not a good attitude every single day of the year. Sometimes I have a bad attitude, and today just happens to be one of those days. But I did show up. And Jill, have your drink ready. Stay hydrated because I'm going back to the slight edge. Because one of the things that just kept repeating in my head is this quote from the slight edge. And you guys have heard that showing up is just like 80% of everything is just showing up. Showing up on the days when you feel like it. Showing up on the days, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. Showing up on the days where it's really easy to say, I'm going to get into this in a second. You know what? It doesn't really matter today. All right. So the quote is showing up is essential. Showing up consistently is powerful. Showing up consistently with a positive outlook is even more powerful. But the showing up is essential. And a lot of times when we have our motivation in minutes, sometimes people's, intention is to show up. That should have been my intention today. But all right. So showing up, right? And here's where it got kind of weird. So I showed up for spin class this morning because I had registered, right? I was on the roster. I said I was going. I went. I showed up for motivation in minutes because I'm generally the one that runs it on Fridays because Molly and Samantha have other things going on. So I showed up for that. Did I have a problem showing up for those things? Absolutely not. What happened afterward is I'm thinking it's really hard to show up when you don't have to, when nobody is. Why is it so easy to show up when other people are counting on you or when you've made a commitment? But it's a lot harder to show up for yourself when nobody is holding you accountable. Nobody cared if I went to work and did what I needed to do today. Honestly, like nobody cares except for me. Why is it so hard to show up for us? Why is it so much harder to show up for ourselves? And I think, having your own business or being an entrepreneur, you really have to be able to master that showing up for yourself. If you have a regular 9-to-5 job, guess what? You got to show up or you're not going to have a 9-to-5 job, and somebody is depending on you. But when nobody is depending on you, when you're setting your own goals and your own, work parameters, it is a lot more challenging to show up. There are definitely differences in the two. So what got me through today? Like, how did I show up and why did I show up? The only thing that really carried me through today was the fact that at the end of the day, every day, so, after I do reseller reflections here, sometimes before I habit stack, I reset to zero, I do my reseller reflection, and then I get my time blocks for the next day. And I'm very specific about those. Again, thank you, Santi Swapper, for giving me that suggestion. And that is what carried me through today. I knew what I needed to do and I knew I needed to show up. I didn't need to. I knew I should show up for those things and I didn't have to think about it. I was just like, all right, just get through, get it done, show up for these things and make them happen. And that's really the only thing the only reason I showed up. If those things weren't on my calendar, I can guarantee you I would not have worked today. I would have done the shipping, because people want their packages, right? So much easier when other people are relying on you. They want their orders. So that's easy. But the actual like listing and, sorting and doing the things I didn't really feel like doing, I absolutely would not have done those if those time blocks weren't on my calendar. It made it easier to show up. It's going to work every time? No, probably not. But it worked today, and it has worked on days when my attitude is just not in the right place. If you have any tips and tricks, I have a reseller reflection on before you get derailed. I don't know that this is a derailment or anything like that. Just remember that it is okay to just show up, and it is okay to set your intention to just show up. Not every day you're going to show up with a positive outlook, but you should show up even when somebody else is not depending on you, even if other people are not depending on you. Show up for yourself, have those things in place, whether it's time blocks. I don't know. Let me know your tips and tricks. Have those things in place ahead of time, because in the moment, you're not going to do it. Or maybe you're a lot stronger than I am and you will do it. I'm not sure. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go reset my calendar for tomorrow because Monday I took some, personal time. So I have to make up a couple hours on Saturday tomorrow. So I'm going to set that up in my calendar now, just in case I don't feel like showing up tomorrow. But usually this blows over. All right. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Go reset to 0, and I will see you tomorrow on day 420. And don't forget to show up. Night, night.